Hello, YouTube. It's me, Justin. It's approximately 12 or 2:12 p.m. East or Central Time here. The only reason why I jumped on live real quick, we're waiting on Dr. Paul Cottrell. He should be in any minute. He had to eat, but I saw this comment which kind of broke my heart. Maiden me K. Honestly, I'm so tired of the doom and gloom. I don't care to survive anymore. All my family is gone anyways, so Jesus can take me home anytime. To be honest with you, um, I feel your pain. I understand. If you knew my channel, you would know that less than 4 years ago, I lost my mom to suicide. I lost four family members last year. My cousin Tommy, my uncle Dave, my big brother, my who I love dearly. So I get where the doom and gloom. Sometimes you have to step back from YouTube and maybe watch a funny, cat video or something like that. I get where you're coming from. There's been times where I've had to pull back, and because of the doom and gloom and the darkness that lays ahead. So that's when you you rely on your faith, so to speak, to pull you through. But yes, I know exactly how you feel right now. I still to this day. My brother died February 25th. Of last year, and I still dial his number or try to share a link. In the back of my mind, I have dreams of my mom all the time and my brother. So everybody in the house, brother AB in the house. What's up there, homie? And real quick, don't think that I just jumped from somebody that's hurting and to AB. It's just too heavy. Yes, have heard you talk about it. This sucks alone. No need to read the word. Pray and enjoy my puppy. So sorry for you. No, don't feel sorry for me. Or, we'll definitely keep you in our prayers, that God gives you the strength. That's what I tell a lot of people, that when it comes to losing a family member, and if you believe in our Heavenly Father and you believe in heaven, then the prayers really need to go to the family members, because we're the ones that have to brunt the storm. We're the ones that, need the strength to wake up every day and continue on with our lives. That's the hard part. That's why you always got to pray for the family members. You ask God to give them the strength to continue to move forward. Because once you lose a family member and many family members, it feels like you have 1,000-pound weights on each leg. You can't get out of bed. You can't walk. You don't sleep. It's horrible. So anyways, we're just, it's okay to cry, Justin. Hey, firm believer in that. When it comes to crying, if you're a man and you say you don't cry, then you're a liar. So, but anyways, waiting on, once again, I'll send him another link. Dr. Paul Cottrell, he's grabbing a bite to eat, and right after he gets off of this live stream, he's going to jump over to the BUBBA News. So I need to put a link of the BUBBA News Channel. I don't know where Brother Mitchell is. Let's try this again. It might already be coming up, but gonna send a link. Okay, here comes the BUBBA News. Okay, here comes Bubba. If anybody can grab that link and share it. Okay, there's Bubba's in the house. You're downstairs.
Yeah, I'm downstairs. Yeah, I haven't made it upstairs yet. I just jumped right on the Chromebook here.
All right, you're in your basement. Still waiting on Dr. Paul Cottrell to come in.
I got my. Why don't I go upstairs and jump in with you here in a few then, since doctor
Yeah,
isn't
go
coming
ahead.
on. Okay, I'll be back, kids. All right.
Here comes Dr. Paul Cottrell. Yeah, I can hear you there. Hey, welcome back there, Dr. Paul. Real quick, I just want to tell everybody in the chat that what we're going to be talking about is not so much the medical part of this virus. When I did that video last night, call to all patriots. I want you to explain to the audience quickly, because I know you got to go to do an interview with Bubba, who's going to pop up here in a second, but on his channel. But when it comes to the Patriot Act, can you explain that to the audience? Because I believe it's completely real. I know it's real. And how passionate are you about that? Because we, like you say, as patriots, proud Americans, there's going to be a point in the horizon. It could be next week, it could be next month, or it could be sooner, that we need to stand up and fight for our rights. If you can explain that, go ahead. You have the floor there,
Okay.
Paul.
Okay. So, as people know, after 9/11, we had something called the Patriot Act that was rolled out, and it was to basically curtail the civil liberties of our citizenry, and to create a surveillance state that rolled in Homeland Security, the TSA, and create powers for the government to root out terrorism, to hunt terrorism down. But after we got the bad guys in the Middle East, we never rolled back the Patriot Act to a pre 9/11 day.
Right.
And the Bio-Patriot Act is basically a biological version. I view this Wuhan virus crisis in the world, especially in the United States, as a means for the government to create to codify laws to force certain things on our body, like vaccinations, like forced vaccinations, or if you aren't vaccinated, then you can't go to this school, or you can't go to this thing, or they'll start to put you into these little ghettos, where you can't move around.
Right.
All right. So I am concerned that they're going to use this event, this biological crisis, to start to codify a larger set of laws that curtails our biological freedoms. Now, there is evidence already at the HHS, the Human and Health Services Agency, and the CDC, where they have powers that can curtail your freedom of movement if they think you have a virus or some sort of pathogen.
Right.
And they have those rights. So people don't realize that they have powers already that have elements of the Bio-Patriot Act that I'm saying. And it's important for your listeners to know, I coined the term Bio-Patriot Act.
Exactly.
To explain this movement that's going on in Congress, the movements that are going on in the state legislatures, the movements that are going on with these different federal agencies. They're trying to curtail your freedoms, just like the Patriot Act. Because I view 9/11 and this no differently. There's an event that happens, and it rolls out a series of legislation that curtails our freedoms. And we need to wake up and realize that there is a concerted effort to erode our civil liberties.
I want to cut you off real quick and get your expertise. Now, I've been talking about for a couple weeks now about medical martial law, and I'm having all these trolls saying there's no such thing
There
as
is a such
exactly.
there is and
It's going on right now in Los Angeles.
right, exactly. And the thing is the HHS documentation that's on my website that people can go to. They can go to the medical section of the website. They can pull down these PDFs. The PDF is HHS1, HHS2, and then there's also a document that deals with the state legislature in New York State, and it states in those documents you don't have freedom. It's here. This is not BS. This is not maybe. This is not maybe in the future. It's now.
Right.
That's the point. It's just that they don't have the funding from the federal at the federal government for a larger agency like they have with Homeland Security. See, we didn't have Homeland Security before the Patriot Act.
Exactly. That's
the point I'm making. Is that once we have this crisis, people are going to be put to sleep. And they're going to, and Congress is going to start acting, and they're going to put a bunch of money into a new agency that's going to be like a Homeland Security bio version.
Right.
That's the point I'm making with this.
And basically, medical martial law, I would believe, is the same as regular martial law, where they'll have the ability to, like they're doing in China, to kick in your door, and they could actually possibly use it as a gun grab as well, because I heard they don't want,
because what they'll do is what they'll do is they'll say, for the safety of the citizens, we're going to have to collect your arms, and then we're going to do the forced vaccinations. The only way you're going to be able to, the only way that we can, basically the only way to stop the tyranny is to have weapons. Our founding fathers understood that the First Amendment cannot be protected without the Second Amendment.
Amen.
It was very clear. It was very clear. The Second Amendment is not about hunting. The Second Amendment is to stop the tyranny from the government. And what is happening right now is a slow rollout of tyranny. And it's time for people to get up, call your senator, call your state houses, all of your representatives at the local and at the federal level, and say, no more. We're going back to a pre-9/11 day, period.
Now you and I agree on this big time, but then there's a hold on, here comes BUBBA News. Let me bring him up. But you see it as contact your congressman and stuff like that. To me, I think it's already beyond that. That, like you said, it's going to go kinetic. Unfortunately, that's not what we want. But I'm not saying to the listeners, don't call your local congressman, etc. Heed your warning and go ahead and do, like you said, to go ahead and call the people. We the people, we elected these people. But I think it's going to go further than that. It's going to go, like you said, kinetic.
Can I, let me just state, for the people that don't believe what I'm saying, then they don't believe that the Patriot Act was passed and that Homeland Security was invented from that Patriot Act. They're not paying attention to what happened right after 9/11. These are facts. And the same thing is going to happen with the Bio-Patriot Act. Mark my words.
Yeah,
and we're already seeing in the news and how, I think it was in Virginia, where they were trying to ban arms.
Well, that's what. Yeah, exactly.
So they are the Democratic Party is trying to dismantle the Constitution, and we need to step up and stop it from happening.
Right, and there may be we may have to, as patriots, stand our ground. There's a reason that the CNC is keeping the numbers from New York State. I actually saw a video from another truther, Watchman Project, where he came across a PDF file that proved that there was a gag order in New York on the coronavirus. You were one of the first ones to expose that with your caller.
Right.
Right.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. It's called HIPAA. So HIPAA.
Yeah, I know the HIPAA law.
They can, so they can basically gag the medical personnel, and it's easy to control them because they're afraid of losing their medical license.
Yeah, and many people that don't know what the HIPAA law is, that means basically it's almost like attorney-client privilege. With the hospital, they're not allowed to give out medical records, correct? Unless signed upon.
And the thing is, and they should. I mean, there needs to be patient privileges. right?
Correct.
But there also needs to be CDC transparency, especially in crises. We're not saying by the CDC saying name the patients that passed positive for, tested positive for COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying that. We're saying
You're,
CDC tell us the number of positive COVID confirmed cases.
right. Exactly.
That's the difference. That's the
Mm-hmm.
difference. We're not
Right.
asking for detailed patient knowledge. We're
Mm-hmm.
asking what are the number of cases in Buffalo, New York,
Yeah.
in this particular case. But there are many other cases that I'm starting to hear around the country that I just can't confirm yet.
Right.
But this is not an idiosyncratic thing. This is not just a one-off. This is happening all over the country. The CDC is hiding, and we're going to
Of
smoke
course.
them out. We're going to smoke them out just like a mole in the ground, and we're going to get
Mhm.
it. We're going to get
Right.
it. We're going to whack the mole. Trust me.
Right. And that's what everybody needs to think about when y'all, even truther channels, even if your family doesn't believe it, continue to educate them. Share videos of Dr. Paul. Share other videos. When it comes to this virus, like I said, I heard that there was 11 to 25 U.S. military bases right now they're preparing these bases for quarantine zones. They never did that for the flu. And people say these trolls are saying, "Oh, this is just another form of the flu. This is it's
Here's
all
the
fear
problem.
mongering."
Here's the problem with the naysayers.
Mm-hmm.
They are not stepping up to the plate and protecting the Constitution.
Cowards.
They are the same type. They are the same types of people that said that the king, the King of England wasn't, wasn't going to increase our taxes. They're the same types of people that said, that the Patriot Act wasn't going to eventually unleash social scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? We got social scoring. We
Just
got
like
all
China.
these things that everyone has been saying, and everyone is saying that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to wake up. All these people are the naysayers. Get off their ass and start protecting your constitutional rights. Because if you don't, you will be forced vaccinated. Trust me.
Amen. And there's no telling what are in those vaccinations, too. But
the point is that we need to band together, work together, solve the problem, work with our communities, talk to our representatives, and change the law peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. But the thing is that if a push comes to shove, and we can't have our civil liberties that are God-given rights
Mm-hmm.
endowed in our Constitution, then it's our right and privilege and our obligation to stand up and say, hell no.
Yeah, because we are God's children. If forced vaccinations, that's to me, that's what do you call the word? Oh man, my brain's going stupid again. Like almost like inhumane or whatever. I'm not saying inhumane, but my rights.
Here's the problem.
I have the right to tell somebody
right,
no.
Exactly. The problem is that we've had in our country too many things that the technocrats are trying to rule. All right.
Correct.
Independent of if the technocrats have have a good reason for it or a bad reason for it, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my life run by a technocrat.
Thank you.
All right. And the thing is that these technocrats think that they're above the law, and that they can erode our civil liberties based on their technological prowess or their knowledge.
Well, because they've been doing it for years.
And the thing is that people have been asleep,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been taking advantage of the division that we see in the social media platforms with all the trolling. The trolls are the problem. They are the problem.
Right.
Right there. They have shown the division they can do divide and conquer. That the eye above, the government, can divide us and conquer us. And the trolls just show it. The trolls just show exactly what the game plan is.
And
the
what
thing is that either the trolls are very, very stupid, or they are individuals that are very immature.
Right.
You can be smart and be immature, or you can be mature and stupid.
I
but
believe
either way, the trolls are
yeah.
immature or stupid.
You've got your Soros trolls, your paid trolls, and you have your ignorant Antifa trolls or whatever. But what they do is they plant a seed of doubt in people's mind, don't they?
Right. And here's the problem.
That's the division.
We have an existential threat on our hands. That's the bottom line. An existential threat, which basically means that your life and your liberties are at stake here. And it's time to wake up.
Exactly.
And it goes all the way back to 9/11. All you have to do is just look at your history, independent of Wuhan virus. Look at your history and see how your civil liberties have been eroded.
Right.
You think you're more free now than pre 9/11?
Shit, no.
No. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, people didn't even know about the Taliban. They never even heard of Pakistan or Al Qaeda or no, the Taliban, etc. They never heard of the Bin Ladens till 9/11, which I'm a strong believer that was an inside job, you know, but because everybody knows Bin Laden by now that's wide awake was on the CIA's payroll. So was Saddam Hussein. But what's happening right now is, like we talked about, Agenda 21, wide open, Agenda 30, but is, you know, and to me, it's very biblical. Now, to you and other people, it may not be, but enough is enough. Stop, pardon my French, stop fucking lying to us and give us the numbers, you know? Stop burning.
Well, you know, the thing is that even if you believe that you know it's biblical, that doesn't mean we can't stop it. I believe in intervention. I believe in godly intervention. I believe in prayer, and I believe that, you know, I believe in the idea that if there's a will, there's a way. I'm not a fatalist. I'm not gonna sit there and allow this to happen in my country. Right. And, you know, I just wish that more people would step up like you are to, you know, to actually fight for our freedoms and voice our constitutional rights.
I wouldn't say me, brother. I'd say you, because you've spread a lot of truth. And I tell you what, you know, once again, I thank you. I saw your interview with Awake last night, the Wake Up. She's a great truther channel. I was extremely proud of her for getting in touch with you. And like I said, Bubba's going to be okay, he's almost back. He's going to be interviewing you on the medical aspect, but I want to, you know, me being a patriot, a proud, you know, I love our Second Amendment. I love our freedoms. I love our country. So you know, which is great, feels the same way. So I can talk to you about the patriotism of this disease, this bioengineered weapon. And then you can talk to other people that want to know the medical terms about it. So once again, martial law, is it fake? Absolutely not, you said. And I found this out today, that FEMA actually, when they declare a state of emergency, has more power than our own government. I never knew that.
Yeah, exactly.
They can override the president.
And here's the point that I'm making. There shouldn't be martial law. The ability for the government, that the federal government, to come in and take over your community should not be allowed.
Correct.
The idea, just the basic idea of it should not be allowed.
Right.
Because we have local municipalities, we have sheriffs and whatnot. We can handle our local problems.
Amen.
We should not be having top-down government. It's localization, not globalization. It's not a never-ending tyranny from the federal government.
Well, you're familiar with a police state. That's what this is.
Exactly. Exactly. And enough is enough, and we're rolling back to a pre-9/11 day. So all the trolls need to get off their ass and help. We need help.
Exactly.
You know, we need sound an alarm. You know, we are. You know, it's time. It's time to move on. It's time to have a better day.
It's time to at least, like I said, prepare food-wise, but prepare, stay locked and loaded.
Exactly. Let's say there's a catastrophe that happens in your local area for whatever reason. You know, let's say, for example, this Wuhan thing, and the federal police or whatever, military, whoever it is, comes to your door. You know, and they're forcing you out of your home and putting you in a gulag or a FEMA camp or whatever. Do you think that's right?
No.
You think it's fair? Do you think that that's what the Constitution is about? I don't give a damn what they call it. martial law or whatever. If a police officer comes to your door and tells you that you're being forced evacuated out of your home, you should tell them, hell no, you're not doing it.
Tell him to go fuck himself. Pardon my French.
You should not be doing it. You should not be doing it. The government's not transparent, and they're eroding our civil liberties.
Right.
And people need to wake up because it's happening. It is happening. It's happening.
I tell you what,
this is not a dream. It's not prediction. It's not reading Gematria. It's not reading the Bible and saying this is going to be the apocalypse. It's happening today, now.
Yeah, and so many people, like even myself, were so distracted on other things, on how like the UN troops and this and that, World War III, etc. It's pretty slick of the global elites or whatever to bring in this bio weapon.
I mean, think about what's happening with the CDC. All right, they're not telling us how many real cases they have. The cases that are passing positive with COVID-19. Okay, because of the ground level information that we're getting from the healthcare workers. All right, and then and these trolls are saying, "Don't worry, listen to CNN, listen to your government. Your government's lying to you."
Big time.
And it's going to roll out a never-ending tyranny that I've been warning about for 3 weeks now. It's not like I've been sitting on a channel, saying the sky's going to fall for the last 12 years.
Right, right.
All right? I got a lot of other important things to do in my life. All right?
Yeah, and I respect
it. And the thing is these trolls, you got to wake up and start helping the country.
Right. And I just wanted to give you thanks. You have trolls just like I do. They say I'm a fake fraud, idiot, this and that, whatever. I don't even give a crap about the trolls. But
we all have, here's the point, is that we all have individual talents that we can bring to the table and make this country a more unified union.
Well, that's why I want to thank you, because like you said, you have a life. You've put your life on hold to educate everybody on YouTube, so to speak, and other platforms, your website, etc., to let everybody know. Heed warning, like you said, you felt like Paul Revere. You know what I mean? The British are coming. The British are coming. And each day, it's that tsunami is coming, and it's coming, and it's coming. And a lot of people that are worried about the medical part of it, yeah, I get that. But us patriots that stand our ground, that believe in our Constitution, believe that we're a sovereign country, our rights, we're not going to stand for a bunch of people coming in trying to kick in our door, giving us forced vaccinations, having no clue what's in the vaccination. And there is forced vaccination, correct? In like California right now, like if you
I'll tell you right now, for me to do my medical research at Harvard and do my pre-med program at Fordham University, I had to be, quote, force vaxxed. I had to get a new MMR shot and hepatitis shot. I was force vaxxed to go into a medical program.
Yeah,
right?
Same with
everyone that's in medical school and everyone that practices, as a nurse or a doctor has to be force vaxxed.
Yeah.
Even my wife. It's happening now.
My wife that cleans hospitals, she goes in with the hazmat suits and the whatever the lights are, the UV lights, and kills all the germs. She I think it was like 8 or 10 vaccinations she had to have over a 2-week period of time. And I'm like, why are you, for $14 an hour? You crazy?
Yeah, here's the thing is that people that go into medicine, as a doctor or a nurse or a PA, they want to help people. It's a higher calling. A lot of times it's because it's a lot of times it's because a loved one in their family died from cancer or heart. It's a higher calling.
Your brother.
Yeah. So it's a higher calling, and they go through it. They're willing to go through the forced vaccination program. I'm not saying I'm anti-vax. What I'm saying is it's your right. It should be your right to choose.
Exactly.
Right.
Especially new ones.
Force vax. And and I'm all for a better safety protocol to prove that the vaccinations are safe. Yeah. Right. And that and what is supposed to be in them is in them. There needs to be a third party that's testing these things to prove the efficacy and the safety of these. But unfortunately, that's not happening. And they're going to roll out. And Dr. Fusi from the NIH has already stated that they're going to roll out a messenger RNA vaccine for the coronavirus. This is a new platform, and we have no idea, one, what's in it. They haven't told us what the sequence of the messenger RNA is, so we can do research on that. Like myself, I could do research on that. And then we need third parties to prove what's in that vaccine that he's saying is going to help us, right? And then we also need to have long-term studies to make sure that there's not negative downstream effects, because you could turn on and off certain types of genes, turns off tumor suppressor genes and gives you cancer, or turns on oncogenes and gives you cancer. We don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
For anyone to say they know what a messenger RNA vaccine will do is lying, because no one's done the research. No one.
Right.
So that's the point I'm making. Is that there's a false security because someone at the NIH is saying this is what we're going to do.
Right. Well, anyways, what I'm going to do is, I know that I didn't mean to jump into time. You're going to jump over to BUBBA News, correct? And he's got to interview you on the medical side. Once again, thank you so much for doing what you do, and I appreciate the contact between you and I.
Yeah, we'll just keep on talking, and raising the alarm. We have to.
Absolutely.
We have to hit as many constituencies as that we can, because if we don't, we will lose our country.
Right. And
but the thing is that but the thing is the ones that are listening, especially the trolls, get off the couch and help.
Right.
You can be part of the solution instead of being part of the problem.
Yeah, a lot of them are paid trolls too, but yeah, that they're causing the division.
Even if they're paid trolls, I don't care if they're paid trolls. They could still step up and support the Constitution.
Well, I know they're brainwashed. They don't care. A lot of them want socialism, but that's a different topic, a different time. Me and you could talk about social like we had before.
Socialism is never going to happen in this country. Period.
Okay, I'll say one thing.
I'll
say one thing before I get off here. I don't understand why these college students want socialism. They scream free college, free college. It's like, hey, dumbass.
Because they don't do the full analysis.
Yeah, they don't
understand their history of this country.
And there's
what makes it great. And it's the banding of the people and the freedoms that the Constitution allows.
What happens after socialism? You cannot be an entrepreneur.
No. After socialism is totalitarianism.
Yeah, the government owns everything. That's what these kids don't. Why would you go to college?
Well, not just that. It's not just the government that owns it. Eventually a dictator arises. And the dictator owns it all.
Yeah. I'm not
like Chavez. It's like Chavez, in Venezuela.
Yeah, look at
That's exactly what you're going to get.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to get a Venezuela.
But all they hear is free, free, free. So
you're either get a Venezuela or you'll get Nazi Germany.
I think Nazi Germany is what we're leading to with all this false propaganda. I've told many people Hitler wasn't elected crazy radical the way he was. It took years for him to push all this propaganda to go ahead and round up the Jewish people for the Holocaust. You know what I mean?
He took control by burning the Reichstag. Once he burned the Reichstag, then he was able to control the whole government.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying when he first came to play, he just seemed like a real passionate. If you go back into history, he just wasn't elected on let's kill the Jews. We're the ultimate race. This and that. That's called propaganda. There was a nationhood propaganda that.
Well,
he fooled the nation.
Power. But the thing is that the nation was divided in their legislature, and he had to burn the Reichstag to be able to control the government. Because it was a two-party system or something like it. And he basically did martial law by burning down the Reichstag and saying, well, I'm going to be, the Fuhrer and control everything because we're in a crisis. See, there's a similarity here. We bring a crisis into this country, and then we erode our civil liberties, and we give these czars that are head of these agencies free reign. It's time to roll back to a pre-9/11 day.
Okay. And once again, I'm going to jump off here. And then everybody, let me put, Bubba, can you put your link in the chat so people that want to follow over real quick? Once again, thank you for giving me the time. And once the big problem that I had was the trolls saying even this morning there's no such thing as medical martial law, and that just didn't.
Yes, there is. It's in the HHS documents that are on my website.
Yeah, that's
all
what
they got to do is download it and look.
Yeah,
and type it in. And they can see it in the PDF. It's there. It's here.
I've talked
the
about
CDC
it for days.
has the power.
Mm-hmm. And so does FEMA. Like I said, I'm repeating myself. Mm-hmm. I had no freaking idea till I watched Watchmen. That
thanks,
channel.
I just said thanks, Mitchell. He put in my channel.
Watchmen Project. He was the one that brought up Agenda 21 and stuff I watched this morning. I had no clue that FEMA could actually take over our government. And he showed.
And if people think that it's not happening, the UN has published documents of Agenda 21 and Agenda 30.
I tell
all you got to do is read the
time.
documents, and it tells you what the plan is.
And you know what they do?
So if someone is saying that it doesn't exist, it's not paying attention.
Exactly. Time to wake up, America. All right, I'm going to jump off here. Everybody, thank you for coming in. Check out, please click and subscribe to the BUBBA News. Once again, Dr. Paul, thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule for giving Awake an interview last night, giving me a bit of your time. I was actually asking 15 minutes. You gave me 36 minutes talking. But once again, I want to definitely talk about, hey, Patriots, it's time to wake up. Just because it's the sniffles that'll kill you, we still need to remain locked and loaded to protect our family. All right. Fear no man, never fear death. Get right with God, fight the good fight, and always stay locked and loaded. God bless.